What's going on YouTube? Marcel Boatwright with another video. So in this video we're going to be talking about the VA loan, what the VA loan is, how it's a powerful wealth building tool, and my plan on using it to generate and build wealth in the future. So what the VA loan is, it's an insured loan through the VA of which they will insure 25% of the loan. Some of the eligibility, so not everyone can get the VA loan. You have to have either 90 days of continuous active duty service, 6 years of reserve service. You have to have gotten out on honorable charges. So other than honorable, dishonorable, you cannot qualify for and use the VA loan. And you have to be a surviving spouse of a veteran. Some other things that you have to use the VA loan for, it has to be your primary residence. You have to live in this property. You have to typically, 60 days after closing, this has to be your main property. You have to be living in it majority of the year. It can be extended based on certain circumstances, but a good rule of thumb is 60 days after closing, you will be moving in and living in this property as your primary residence. So there is no hard, fast rule of just the 60 days. That's just typical. However, if you're like PCSing, ETSing, or you have a legitimate reason as to why you can't live in this property right away, you can get it extended for what I've read up to 12 months past closing to live in and use this residence as your primary residence. But that's subject to lender approval and all these other things. So your situation may differ. I'm just letting you know of a few examples that this has happened with. So what are the benefits of the VA loan, you may ask? So one big benefit, no down payment up to. That's pretty much the biggest thing that most people are attracted to. You don't have to save an enormous amount of money to get the $20,000 down payment or 20% down payment for the house that you want to do. And that's one of the biggest factors as to why a lot of people can't buy in this market. So another one of the pros of using the VA loan is a 100% cash out of your equity. So let's say you bought that home for $100,000 and then in a couple years, it's worth $150,000. That'd be pretty nice. You have $50,000 of equity built into the home. So what you can do is you can take 100% of your equity out of the home. You can get a check for $50,000 and use it for anything that you want to. You can use it to buy a new car. You can use it for a down payment on another house. There are no restrictions on that amount. Of course, I wouldn't personally do that, but if you have this equity, you take it out of the property, you can pay off almost a lot of your debts, so on and so forth. So it's just another thing you should be aware of, because with a conventional loan, you can only take, I believe, up to 80% out of the of equity out of the home. Another benefit is no private mortgage insurance. So you do not have to get PMI, which is an additional expense for a conventional loan if you don't put the 20% down payment. That is waived with the VA. Another benefit is, as of January 1st, 2020, there is no limit as to how high the VA loan can go. There used to be a limit as to how much of a house you can buy. I believe it was almost a little higher than $500,000, and it's subject to where you live. So as of January 1st, there is no limit. Of course, you do have to meet lender requirements to actually buy a home. You have to meet the income requirements. Another benefit is it's not just single family residences. You can use the VA loan to buy a duplex. You can use the VA loan to buy a triplex or even a quadplex and get 4 doors, rent those out, and then live in the other half of your other property as your primary residence and continue to get that cash flow going. Another benefit of the VA loan is it can be used multiple times. There's a big misunderstanding going around saying that you can only use the VA loan once, or you can only have the VA loan going once at a time, but that's just not true. What you can do is you can use the VA loan, live in the residence primarily for a year. I believe there are some give and take rules, but good rule of thumb is once a year. And then depending on how much entitlement you have left, which you can find out with your certificate of eligibility, your COE letter that you get from eBenefits, you can use the rest of that remaining amount, or you can refinance out of a VA loan and get all of your entitlement back and basically use the VA loan like you've never used it. The process is you'll get a certificate of entitlement from the VA on eBenefits. So create an eBenefits account, request a certificate of entitlement, and then the VA will tell you how much you're entitled to and how much of a loan they will insure. So the standard roughly is $550,000. If you're in an expensive housing area, let's say California, New York, that amount may go up, but the typical amount is $550,000, and then 25% of that is going to be insured by the VA. So how it works out is as follows. Let's say you buy, for simple terms, a $100,000 home. You finance the full amount because you put 0% money down. So now the VA is insuring $25,000. If you have the averaged entitlement of $550,000, 25% of the $550,000 is roughly $137,000. So that's how much of a loan the VA will insure. So you got a $100,000 home, they're insuring 25%, that's $25,000 of that $137,000 that you're going to be using from the VA. So now what you'll do is $137,000 minus $25,000, you have $112,500 of available entitlement from the VA left. So your next property, after you've lived in this property for roughly a year as your primary residence, you will still be able to have, you will have $112,000 of entitlement left if you still have that VA loan going and you're just renting out the other property. So essentially, after buying that $100,000 property, which I know you're probably not going to find a $100,000 property, then you will have roughly $448,000 worth of a VA loan. So you can still go out and buy 4 more properties just like the one you did, quote unquote, and then still have $50,000 left over for the VA loan. So let's talk about cons with the VA loan. So in my opinion, I believe that the pros do outweigh the cons. There are some cons as in the funding fee. So if you're putting 0% money down, then you're going to be, the way that the VA loan works is you're going to be paying a funding fee over the life of the loan. So I'm going to be putting a chart up above explaining the funding fee and how the percentages work. For the first use of the VA loan, if your down payment is less than 5%, you're going to be paying 2.3% of the loan amount over the life of the loan. If you're using 5% or more of a down payment, but less than 10%, you're going to be paying 1.65% of the loan amount. If you have 10% more of a down payment, you're going to be paying 1.4% of the life of the loan. So that is one of the downsides to having a VA loan. However, you know, if you don't have the money up front, it's basically getting your foot in the door a lot earlier. So you can buy the house now compared to with the conventional loan where you need 20% down, or FHA, you need roughly 3.5%. So the VA loan will basically get your foot in the door a lot earlier than having to wait and save that amount. Another one of the drawbacks to using the VA loan is the competitiveness of it. With the VA loan, the lender is not allowed to fund more than what the VA appraisal appraises for. So let's say you, in this competitive housing market, you have a house that's worth $200,000, multiple offers, so you offer $210,000. The VA, you get the contract, it's all good, all done, and then the VA appraiser that you have to use, a special appraisal, the house appraises for only $200,000. You offer $210,000, so the VA will only fund $200,000. So you either have to renegotiate with the seller and bring it down $10,000, or you have to come up with that $10,000 out of your own pocket. Another downside of it is, yes, you have to have the VA appraisal. I mean, that's nothing crazy, you know, but they are a little more stringent on their standards. They want to make sure that the veteran is living in a safe, sound, and sanitary home. There are a lot of things that could, you know, come up with that I would still prefer to live there, and I don't see as a big thing, but the VA appraiser could see as a big thing. And if they see it as a big thing, then they're just not going to fund the loan at all. You will probably have to sign a couple of waivers saying that you understand that the condition of the property, waive liability to them, saying that you understood the property, understood everything like that, and then they'll finally fund it. But it can be a hassle. I ran into a couple issues when I was buying my first property that we'll be going into here shortly, but it's a hassle. Be prepared to deal with that. So here's my plan for using the VA loan to build wealth over the upcoming years. So I bought a property last year, beginning 2020 January. I've been living here as my primary residence for over a year now. And I plan to buy another home later this year that will fit the description, allow the VA to be funding it, and put 0% money down on that. When I'm living in that property, I plan to rent out my first property and hopefully get some cash flow going and on that. I won't be touching any of that money. And while I'm living in this next property, I'm going to be fixing it up, trying to increase the value, and then in 2023, when that comes along, hopefully I can rent that property out and just continue doing that. If I run into the problem where I'm running out of entitlement to use, I will refinance my first property, get it out of a VA loan, and get all of the entitlement that I got out of it and get that money back. I'll probably cash out some of the equity that I have in it just to recoup some money and then use that and either move it into stocks, move it into options, or do whatever I see fit with it, whatever I want. But yeah, till next time, I hope you're having a great day, killing the new year, and I'll catch you later.